awake out of fear of dreaming. No control while he is sleeping, worry of attacks repeating. So he spends his night sleepless and in pain, till the dawn chases the night away again. Then he strides away alone as he slowly goes insane. He doesn't want to close his eyes, he doesn't want to fall asleep, for he worries that his mighty great axe will swing. For even when there are no foes, the pain within him surely shows, and he worries that his mighty great axe will swing. With Krill tormented by the past, he seeks a confidant. One old and wise is quickly found, what better could he want? Of Krill's hidden past Greg does inquire. What atrocities has he caused in Dice and Desire?
Perhaps you should just, rather than giving up your axe, acknowledge the root cause of your problems in your heart. Perhaps by letting someone in to help you, it may help you relieve some of your rage, or at least point it in the right direction.
That sounds like a good idea.
So, what happened to you in your past?
Oh, this is gonna get deep. I've never really felt at home or accepted anywhere, and I really just want to truly find out where I come from and where I belong.
Well, that's what us friends are here for. I mean, we obviously have our mission at hand to find out what's going on with the giants and put an end to that, so just so people in this world won't be hurt by the giants and the ordering, I guess, and anything that comes with that. And now we've got talk about killing dragons with weapons that I've never even heard of. But I'm sure we can find time for you and helping you rectify anything that's happened to you, or any feelings that you've had that you need to rectify. I'm not very good at this touchy-feely stuff, but we've been on an adventure together now for some time, and I can truly call you my friend. And if you need help, that's what we shall do.
Would you like to go and get a coffee?
I would love to.
Yeah, let's head back to the pub.
Both take an inspiration point. For some lovely, lovely role play. Wow, Jesus. Okay. Didn't expect any of that. Cool. I'm not crying. You're crying. Right. You head back. You heading back to the inn then, are you?
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, let's go scare Urgula by me just turning on the doorway.
He's alive.
You get back to. I mean, to be honest, you've not been gone that long, so it's not that much later. But as you walk back into the inn, there's still no one serving behind the bar, but you do see Krill notices the kitchen staff that he'd seen walking in and out of the kitchen door. And essentially each time that they're walking past, they're seeing the axe, and they're making extra effort to weave past it so they don't sort of get caught on it and get sliced by this. The other three, what are you? It's still relatively early morning. Any of you stirring early, or are you gonna leave them to it?
Big line. Big line.
Yeah. Okay. Krill and Greg, you obviously just said about coffee. As I say, there's no one specifically serving, but equally, I would wager that the Urgler, you've got enough credit with Urgler at this point that if you wish to make your own coffee or to go behind the bar and speak to the kitchen staff, that they would more than happily assist.
Yeah.
Greg would like to start making a coffee, but you know when you're kind of doing monotonous tasks and you just have like one of those moments where you have a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to turn to Krill and he's going to go,
Krill, I know how we can unbury that item. Come with me!
and he's going to just lead him by the hand out the door back to where they came from.
You've walked back from the... Okay, fine. Yo-yoing between two spots. Is there a blacksmith involved? Right.
Krill and Greg's excellent adventure.
Exactly. Right, you three can go.
That's really good.
Yeah, correct.
You get back to the dig site, and Greg.
Greg straightens up his hat that's on his head, and I wish to use a cantrip that I do not know. So I will roll you a d20, Nathan.
What is the cantrip you're trying to use?
I would like to use Mold Earth.
Interesting. Okie dokie.
So rolling the dice, I've rolled an 11.
Which I think is enough, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it's anything above a 10, isn't it? I will check my item.
Yeah, I feel like it was 10.
Yeah, it's above a 10 out of sorcery.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I thought it was 10. Okay, so you've passed that, so you're allowed to use that cantrip, but you're not allowed to use any other cantrips. Any other sorcerer's cantrips for the day.
Yeah. So this one basically, I target an area of loose earth, and I can instantaneously excavate it, moving it along the ground, and deposit up to 5 feet away.
Okie dokie. All right,
so,
then.
Can I move the earth around this object?
Okay, so yeah, so let's just take this in stages. So the starting point of this is you've made considerable headway into digging this thing out. It is sticking. It is sticking out, and it's slightly bent. And it's already sticking out of the ground, probably, or where you've dug down to. It's probably sticking out of the ground by about 3 foot at this point. So you managed to excavate and use your mold earth or whatever, and you managed to. Let's suggest that you sort of trying to sort of like bring it to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to move it 5 feet up. However, it's still partially underground at this point. It's moved up. You can now see at this point it's about 8 foot of it is out of the ground, and you can see that it's essentially sort of almost well, yeah, it's not almost. It's circular in nature, so it's bending round. It's not completely perfect, but it's bending round. And there's about 8 foot of it out of the ground. There's still some underneath the ground.
Well, bugger me, I don't think we're going to be able to carry this with us on our journey.
Make me actually Krill. Do you want to get in there and have a look at it?
Yeah, let me get on in.
Okay. All right, you get in and have a look, and you get your hands around it, and you can see it's quite a thick band. It's sort of a 2-inch radius, diameter. Sorry, and you get your hands around it to try and sort of like see if you can lift it up. Give me a perception, investigation, something like that. One of those.
Perception with a +3 gives me 18.
18. Okay. You can't move it, but part of that is obviously because of the fact that it's still partially underground. But even aside from that, just the sense of trying to shift it, you can feel that even if the ground wasn't there, this is probably going to be a significantly heavy object. that even, certainly you on your own, possibly you and Quinch could move it together. But this is certainly not an object that you're going to be able to cart around the town, let alone your adventures.
Perhaps we should go back to the inn again. And, perhaps chat to the others, but I feel that this may be the time that we actually do need to let other people know this object is here, because it's quite clear that we're not going to be able to take it with us.
If anything, we've just done the Giants a favour. We just made it easier for when they do come back for it.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm sure we can put it in a fortified position and not on the outskirts of town.
Okay. So, what are you doing then? Are you heading back to the inn?
Yep. Grabbing Crow's hand again, run into that to the inn.
Okay. As you emerge from the tent, you actually see a familiar face heading your way. Very good-looking face, very suave-looking gentleman is heading your way, and he sees you emerging from the tent and says, "Oh, good morning, gentlemen. I was actually just coming to see what was going on with this tent." As Narth approaches you.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Dars.
Oh, Dars isn't good looking. Narth is the guy from the shop with the ugly wife.
Ah, yes. Well, we were just in Darth's caravan park, so I presumed it was going to be him.
Yeah.
What are you gentlemen doing up this time of days? I would have thought after yesterday, you and pretty much everyone would be having a lay in.
Just taking in the beauty of the town, our business is our own in all of that.
Oh, okay. I get that. It is a beautiful town. I've lived here for quite a time, and I love it. It's a shame everything that happened yesterday. These things happen, though. Unfortunately, these are happens in every town around that I hear people coming through. The merchants always talk about danger out there.
I trust that you and your lovely wife are safe.
We are, yes, very, very thankfully. Obviously, I was helping you with the fight. Alestra is safe. But everything is fine. I was actually quite curious about what was going on here. I saw the giants were digging when they came into town, and I can't help put two and two together and see that there's a tent over the spot that they were digging in, and here I find you two emerging from the said tent.
Narth, I don't want to lie to you, so at this time I feel that it's best that I don't tell you what's going on until we've had a word with the Lord Commander herself, who I'm sure will inform the members of the town. I hope you understand.
That's absolutely understandable. I commend that attitude, but have you found something in there? Did you find out what they were? Did you find out that they were were they digging for something?
Again, I can't say too much at this time, I'm afraid.
Okay, well that's absolutely fine. I can't. Like I say, I love this town, and I certainly wouldn't want to stop anyone doing the right thing in here. And he sort of gets close to you and says, "But do remember that I am a tradesman. I am a man who knows the wealth of things. If there's something in there to be bartered over, make sure you do talk to me."
Oh, of course. You will be the first on my list for rare items.
Oh, there's a rare item in there.
No, there isn't in there, but I'm saying if I come across rare items. If I'm going to be honest with you, Narth, the what we have uncovered is some bones of a giant. We possibly feel like it could be some kind of giant lord or something like that they were after reclaiming.
Can you roll me a deception check, please?
I'll 100% can do that for you. That is an 8, but deception, I get a plus...
Persuasion.
Persuasion?
No,
Plus-
no,
plus
it's
Oh, it
deception.
doesn't matter. I've got a +7 on both
deception,
of them.
yeah.
So either way, it's 15.
15. I would say that just hits. I would have put it at DC about 14, 15. So I'm going to say that just about gets over the line, but with some reservations. He's sort of not. He's not completely bought the lie, but he doesn't see any reason to completely distrust you either. And he's okay. There's some bones. I mean, I could certainly. I suspect that if you're telling me there's some bones in there, some giant bones in there, I mean, I could imagine we could consider making them into some weapons. Could possibly talk to Harriet. There might be something to be done there. I mean, if that is something in there to be bought, yeah, I would definitely be willing to part with some money for some giant bones.
Absolutely. Greg remembers in his head there's a giant carcass just up the road.
ready to be stripped for parts. Joking aside, there is actually a suggestion that you could add in bounty hunters for giants in this, by the way. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want you carting around giant penises like MJ would probably want to. That's good. Okay, well, that's once you've spoken to the Lord Protector, as I say, if she's not interested, or you want to consider other options, then do come to me.
Yes, my only concern was if these bones are precious to the giants, would it be wise for us to turn them into weapons? Perhaps we should, store them somewhere for safekeeping. Because I don't know what would anger the giants more, us locking the bones away or turning them into weapons. I feel like if we lock them away, at least we have the option, if worst case scenario, to give it back to the giants,
That's a very interesting point. Yes, I take that point on board. As I say, it was just a suggestion. I am a businessman, and often business comes first. And if that is something that you want to do, then absolutely we can discuss all eventualities when the time comes. Speaking of business, he sort of looks around just to make sure there's no one else in the vicinity. You helped this town, and I can't, I think it's only fair that I also help you, perhaps financially. As I say, merchants come through Tribor regularly, and one not too long ago came through my doors, and he'd recently been in Zarnthal's keep, and he swore that he saw a brigand in there, someone who was wanted, a dwarf by the name of Rufflecopter.
Fuck off.
And what did Rufflecopter do?
Well, I didn't get that far to asking him, but my understanding is he's not a pleasant fellow. He's a pleasant fellow son. Yeah. He's not pleasant. I think there's a suggestion of murder, but I'm not entirely sure. You'd have to find out more. But I understand that he's wanted. He's wanted in Neverwinter, and again he looks around very suspiciously, making sure that no one's listening. Word is the reward is 5,000 gold pieces. So whatever he did, clearly is not good.
Be dumb of us not to try and get that.
I mean, I would. I wish I were an adventurer. There's when I hear tales, when I see gentlemen such as yourselves living the life, there's definitely a part of me that wishes that he could be out on the road and doing these things. And I would. And he sort of like pumps his chest out like he's some big guy. Bearing in mind he took a couple of pot shots at some orcs. You know, I feel like I could head up there and deal with the matter myself and claim the reward. But I do have my lovely Alestra to think of, and we're obviously, as you know, going through a tough time with, you know, her missing son. And so it would be wrong of me to do anything like that, despite the obvious financial gain to the family. I can't leave her at this time, but luckily you gentlemen have come along at the right time, and perhaps it's something that you could investigate and you know, if I can give you something that leads you to 5,000 gold pieces, then I'm pleased with that.
One last question. Is that 5,000 gold pieces dead or alive?
I never thought to ask, but I would think probably alive. I would suggest it's probably safer to assume alive.
Well, you handsome chap, thank you very much for your input. And like I said, if I come across any rare items, artifacts, or we decide to go ahead with these giant bones and turn them into some weapons, you will definitely be our first port of call.
Okay. Thank you. And just at that moment, there's like there's a little gust of wind. Nothing too serious, but there's just like a little sort of breeze, and the flaps of your tent just sort of like billow out a little bit. And just at that moment, he sort of takes the opportunity to sort of stand a bit taller and sort of look over your shoulder as he's talking to you to see if he can catch a glimpse of whatever's inside the tent. But he's still talking to you and very much attention on you. Anyway, I should get back to Alestra. I didn't tell her where I was going, but I thought I would just come out here and see what the commotion was as I heard some noises. Anyway, if you need anything else, obviously, if you do leave town, feel free to pop in and top up any of your needs.
We will do, and we will be seeing you shortly.
Thank you. And he turns around and sort of, as he's walking away, sort of again one last little look over his shoulder just to see if he can see anything or see you two talking or anything like that. And he heads off. So I think you two, anything you want to do, or I think you were intended to go back to town, back to the inn.
Yeah, back to the inn.
So you about face for the third or fourth time, head back to the North Shield.
Oh, wait, I remembered something. Back to the tent.
I don't follow.
So you get back to the inn, and probably with everything, with the conversation, with the digging around, with Krill looking at the artifact. It's probably about 6 o'clock now. You start to see one or two extra members of staff in the bar, getting prepped for the day, checking drinks, cleaning everything. Remaining 3, are you going to do anything, or should we fast forward to you waking up at this point, or is there anything that Krill and Greg want to do before that point?
Just continue making our coffee, I guess. Couple of coffee.
Okay. So you make your coffee. A couple of the bar staff, Urgle's not turned up yet, but a couple of the bar staff sort of give you odd glances. And then there's a couple of whispers, and then sort of like a knowing nod as if they've understood the situation.
I've retrieved my axe, by the way.
Okay, you grab your axe, and you notice there's actually a bit of cloth on the axe, as if someone sort of walked past and sort of caught some of their clothing on it. And you see one of the members of staff actually with a sort of bit of a gaping hole in their shoulder. Nothing bloody, just obviously they've torn their uniform. We're going to scoot forward to, I don't know, 8 a.m, 9 a.m, whatever time you three start to rouse. Who's going to be the first to run you up?
I'll head down and get some breakfast.
Okie dokie, you head down and you see Krill and Greg deep in conversation one drinking coffee. I'm not sure what would Krill be drinking first thing in the morning. Would he be a coffee man?
He's put together a kale and spinach smoothie.
A kale and spinach smoothie. Okie dokie, that's a brand new one to add to the menu. Right, okay. Yep. So Dabov comes down. Anything you want to add to the? Do you want to say anything, Dabov?
I'll go straight to the bar and order some more nuggies for the day.
8 a.m. nuggies.
It's always time for nuggies.
Just for yourself?
Oh yeah, obviously. I'm not sharing nuggies. What the fuck's wrong with you?
You order the nuggies, and the young girl behind the bar, she goes to she says, "Oh, that'll be 5 silver pieces, please."
I thought stuff was free. What the fuck?
And then at that point, she's, maybe let me just go and ask someone, and she sort of hurries off into the kitchen, and then almost just as quickly just comes rushing out. I'm sorry, Mr. Dabov. I did hear that we were giving some of these things, giving you some freebies, given everything yesterday, so that's absolutely fine. Just go and take a seat, and we'll get them over to you. Our cook has only just started, so it may take a little bit longer than usual. But we'll get them over to you as soon as possible.
Sounds good. Then I'll retreat to the table.
Okay. Dweezil, Quinch.
Quinch wakes up dramatically and gasps, and he puts his hand down underneath the duvet, feeling down, and he feels a thick bush of pubic hair. Big thank you to our sponsors, Screwfix, for helping with maintaining that bush.
Power tools.
Jesus. I'm not sure if the comment earlier in the session was a joke or not, so I don't know if we're sponsored by Screwfix or Manscaped.
What was weird was that you referenced Manscaped to do with facial hair when it's a pubic hair trimmer.
Never mix. Never mix the blades.
Right, okay, lovely. Please do sponsor us. Quinch, you're up, pubic hair and all.
Quinch wakes up feeling refreshed. Twist on the cube.
Yeah, go for it. Advantage, my friends.
Advantage. What is it? Is it Dex?
Dex,
Sleight
of hand, yeah.
Gonna need it.
Sleight of hand will probably be better for you if you've got proficiency, which I suspect you haven't, but otherwise Dex.
12.
12. That's with advantage. Excellent. Right. Okay. So yeah, you move it, and you can just see some of the colours drift away from themselves ever so slightly. And yeah, that's you done. You heading downstairs, or you can stay?
Yeah, I'll go downstairs, see what's going on.
So yeah, you head downstairs, and by this time, you see a human wizard with a coffee. You see a half-orc barbarian with some sort of green drink, and you see a gnome with some nuggies. What do you do once you're downstairs, Quinch?
I'll get a plate of breakfast if it's going.
Okay. What, nuggies again, or do you want something else?
Yeah, I'll have some nuggies.
You have some nuggies. Okay, so you head over.
Nuggies and some coffee grits.
Some what?
Some coffee grits.
Okay.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, just coffee granules fried off in a little bit of animal fat with some flour.
Okay, so you go and ask for that, and she, the young girl again hurries off and says, "Yeah, that'll be out. That'll be out shortly, Mr. Felborn." You go and sit down and await your breakfast. Dweezil, that just leaves you.
Bounces out of bed. Feels his side, which is miraculously. It looked worse than it was yesterday, It's healed up nicely. It was more of a kind of graze. There's no real damage done.
Yeah, it was always superficial, I think.
Yeah. He kind of just examines his studded leather armour and realises that it hasn't actually been even cleaved through. It took a bit of a scrape to the armour, but it's fine. Gets himself dressed, brushes his beard, brushes his hair, and hops down the stairs ready for some breakfast, ready to see what the day has to bring.
Okay, and what would Dweezil be ordering for breakfast today?
Dweezil is looking for a whatever they've got that's a meat-free option, a vegan option for him.
Right. Okay. So you go over to the barmaid and you say, "Oh, have you got anything meat-free?" And the young girl goes out into the kitchen. Here's a few things. You hear a few sort of like mutterings and everything, and then she comes back out and she says, "Well, we do actually. It's a new product we've got. We've got some ganottis. They're like nuggies, but they're made from a plant substitute."
Yeah, Dweezil have some ganottis.
Okay, that's fine. They are. Yeah, they're free like everyone else's breakfast today. So go and sit down, and I'll bring across.
I'll leave a couple of copper pieces on the bar because I feel a bit sorry for them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vance. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. And you go down, and you join the rest of your group, and for the next hour, your group is lost in a pleasant haze as you discuss the events of yesterday and catch up with the things that has happened to you since.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Dice and Desire. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave us a review. Also, go check out our Instagram and Twitter pages. The handle for both is Dice and Desire. So, until next time, stay safe, adventurers.
The Four Corners Podcast presents The Final Crusade, a Pathfinder 1E Mythic Rules adventure playing Wrath of the Righteous. Come sit at our table and join our 5 intrepid players for the high highs,
or Mythic Tier 2,
the low lows, and hits her in the temple.
Are you f***ing kidding me?
And she dies.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
Utter chaos.
Solidarity! And then she's gonna pull a card from the deck.
Oh my god!
Oh, this is going off the rails.
An untold mystery. And I guess we'll have to find out what it all means next time on The Final Crusade.
Wait, what is happening?
That's a great question.
I'm so confused.
Join us every Wednesday on all major podcast platforms.